Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, especially good evening, ma'am. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Muhammad Iqbal, with my students number of 22 1142 1151. On this opportunity, please allow me to explain to you about English and other languages. First of all, we would like to discuss about the basic definitions of language. In this discussion content, we will find terms of mutual intelligibility. So mutual intelligibility is all about how can we understand between each other of us in the middle of conversations while we are talking in the same language. But of course, while we are talking in the same language in the middle of conversation, we will find some obstacles that will determine a level of mutual intelligibility itself. For example, like between British people and American people. Although uh, they are talking in the same language, which is English, of course they will find some obstacles that will affect their comprehension between each other because of the geographical differences, vocabulary, accent, dialect or dialects, and etc. And the second discussion content is all about the grammatical rules. In this world, we will find some variations of language like English, German, French, etc. The different variations of language will affect their grammatical rules as well. For example, like in English, we will find some order of words like subject, verb, and then object. But in French, they work differently than English. They will have subject and then object, and after that, they will have verb. So different variations of language also means the different grammatical rules as well. And the next discussion content is about how can we create a good communications. It's not all about good and bad grammar, but it's all about good and bad communications. How can we create a good communication is by creating a proper arrangement of grammar. Why we are so be careful on this concentration, because to create a good communications, it means that we need to avoid ambiguity, obscurity by making a proper arrangement of grammar in sentence or utterances. To do that, of course, one of them is to taking attention again on the order of words in some utterances or sentences. With that, we can finally understand how to build a good communication is by taking attention on how we create the proper arrangement of the grammar in our utterances or sentences. And finally, the kinds of grammar that we can find in some literary works. In literary works, the main benchmark of grammar is all about effective and efficient communication. So it's all about how can we make efficient and effective communication in some literary works, for example, like prose and poetry. To do that, of course, we will need help of the grammar as well. For example, please take attention on this word. To err is to be human. To err is to be human. On this sentence, we will find a parallelism. So parallelism is a kind of grammar that we can see the similar pattern uh, between the uh, bridge. The bridge that I'm talking about is the to be. To err is to human. So between the to be itself, between the so before and after the to be itself, which is we can find the similar pattern which are infinitive to err and to be human. So according to this usage of parallelisms, we can see that this sentence that we can find in prose is having a attempt to create effective and efficient communications. Also, it also happens in poetry. In poetry, it works different than the prose while we're talking about grammar in terms of grammar. In poetry, we will find the similarity of sounds and rhyme. So it would be more free than the prose rules that we can find while we are talking about in grammar. So that's all for my explanation. Thank you very much for your kind attention, and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good night, everyone.